In late November of 2020, China launched the Chang'e 5 mission to the moon at the Wenchang Space Launch Center. Chang'e 5 is part of the CNSA's Chang'e Lunar Exploration Program. It is named after the Chinese moon goddess, Chang'e. The Mooncraft's mission was to retrieve a sample of the moon's soil and bring it back to Earth, where extensive scientific studies and experiments can be conducted. The sample returned by Chang'e 5 is believed to be the youngest ever moon sample, perhaps at about 1.2 billion years old, whereas the sample returned by NASA's Apollo mission was estimated to be around 3.1 to 4.4 billion years old. Since life was believed to have begun about 3.7 billion years ago, studying more recent samples of the moon at 1.2 billion years old, at a time when multicellular organisms were present on Earth, can help us better understand how Earth and the life on Earth evolved. As well, knowing more about the moon's history improves our understanding of how other planets in the solar system evolved, with the potential of discovering life on these planets or their moons. Now, let's talk a little bit about the technical aspects of the Chang'e 5 mission. The technology involved with the Chang'e 5 spacecraft was a complicated one, as this was the first moon landing mission in 40 years since the Soviet Union's Luna 24 mission back in 1976. Chang'e 5 had adopted an architecture that was similar to NASA's Apollo missions. Chang'e 5 was also one of the 4 spacecrafts China had sent to the moon. The other 3 are the Chang'e 3 lander, which arrived in 2013, and the Chang'e 4 lander, along with the Yutu-2 rover, which landed together on the far side of the moon in January 2019. The Chang'e 5 spacecraft is said to be consisted of 4 pieces: a service module, a lander, an ascent vehicle, and an Earth return module. The lander and ascent vehicle were sent down to the surface of the moon, while the service module and return module stayed in lunar orbit. The Chang'e 5 lander also carried several scientific devices with it. It had several cameras to record its landing and document the landing site, a ground-penetrating radar that could map the subsurface layer of the moon, and a spectrometer that studied the mineral composition and water content inside the moon's soil at the landing site. During its time on the moon, Chang'e 5 also planted a tiny fabric Chinese flag on the surface. The Chang'e 5 lander collected about 1.7 kilograms of samples using a scoop and drill. After the lander collected the samples, it blasted the ascent vehicle back to the service module and lunar orbit, where it transferred the sample into the Earth return capsule. The service module then ejected the ascent vehicle to leave the lunar orbit for Earth, while itself stayed in lunar orbit. As the ascent vehicle approached the Earth atmosphere, it will eject the Earth return capsule. Space officials of China claim that the samples returned by Chang'e 5 will be shared with the United Nations and its international partners. They are also planning to put some of the material on display at a national museum. It seems like China has some big plans for its astronomical achievements. In addition to its Chang'e 5 mission, China has also launched its first unmanned mission to Mars, named Tianwen-1, which is expected to reach Mars in February 2021. If Tianwen-1 turns out to be successful, China is planning to then send an unmanned mission to Mars as well as to the moon in the near future. If this succeeds, China will become the second country in the world to send a man to the moon after the United States.